Aloha, family. So excited to be here with each one of you. My name is Richard Melchizedek.
I'm Rosalie Bridget. We're so excited to be live with you all. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Say hi in the comments. And also post any questions that you may have. This is our time to connect. It's 2:22 p.m. here in Canada. Perfect timing.
Yeah, so we wanted to drop in with each one of you and to take this time for a community check-in, as well as just talk a little bit about this doorway we're in right now. We are on the cusp of the Galactic New Year, which is, we're making that transition around April 18th, 19th, and 20th this year as we step into the next solar alchemical cycle. And what does that mean? To be in this window where this is the ascension phase. This is the ascension window in the 13th solar alchemical stage that represents a lot of purification, unification, and alignment of all of the work that's been done over the last 12 cycles are now manifesting into this stage. So it's also that energy of coming into like getting ready for something new as we're preparing to move into the new galactic year. We shared an update yesterday in our Krystal Academy about which, we're encouraging you all to come and join. Our Krystal Academy is live now. So if you're looking for support in stepping into your soul calling and mission at this time on the planet, then reach out to us, or we'll provide a link for you as well, or you can just scroll through our posts because we have a lot of the information for you there as well. Our Krystal Academy is living, breathing guardian architecture to help our family at this time to go through the re-education, to get the support in terms of coming into a deeper level of embodiment. Now, with us on the cusp of this galactic new year, this is the point of where the solar masculine and the solar feminine come back together, and we start to integrate some of these higher solar feminine and masculine templates that we've been working to restore throughout this past solar year. Yeah, I mean, I think energetically, some things that we've noticed that we'll share is there's been a lot of work in reclamation within the womb matrix, as there's been a deep level of purification happening to the original crystalline solar womb. And why is the womb going through such a deep level of purification right now for our feminine and masculine family on the planet? We're going through this transfiguration from the lunar feminine programming and conditioning into the solar feminine, the returning, the restoring. It is that like returning of Christ energy for the solar feminine and for the solar masculine. But just to explain about the level of trauma, emotional imprinting, and distortions that has occurred through the womb matrix, there has been a profound level of clearing occurring. So I know many of you can probably relate to this with some of the womb pain and some of the sexual trauma energies that have been coming up for clearing. And it's really, exciting because we're preparing for something big. And it's like, what are we preparing for? What's happening during this ascension, window? I've pulled this card right before. I'm just going to show it to each one of you. But it says portal, the doors are opening. The doors are opening, you decide for the rewards. And it's really about the level of like mastery that's kind of like unfolded over the last years, manifesting now. And one of these pieces within this window is the resurrection of that like sacred family unit. So father, mother, daughter, son is going through a level of alchemical synthesis to hold a higher template. And again, what does this have to do with the womb matrix? Well, the womb matrix is preparing for the birthing of the solar children. Whether you want to call it the golden child or the golden children.
Or the solar Christed child.
Yeah, and we've personally been working on restoring the Christed solar star child blueprint during this phase, which is so divinely aligned. And we received yesterday that there's roughly about 400 solar dragon babies that are coming in right now. And through this 13th alchemical stage and this doorway, this gateway that's opening, there's going to be a huge activation for sacred couples as they start to birth these little dragon babies.
And when, so cute.
And when we say dragon babies, yes, they look just like you or I. But
I thought you were going to say, yes, they look just like dragons.
But what we're talking about is the level of God consciousness that they hold, and it's a very pure, high frequency, like original founder, like templating that hasn't been able to be held within this planetary density for a very long time. That's really exciting news, guys. And the level of work, all we've been doing as a family to restore these higher templates for humanity. So we're able to hold a higher frequency resonance and bandwidth to have a stabilized architecture to bring in these special children, because as these special children are coming in too, it's also providing like a level of activation, initiation, and upgrade for the solar parents, for the solar mother and for the solar father. And again, through this window where it's about restoring family. Yesterday, you want to jump in, babe?
Yeah, I just wanted to share that with the closing out of this galactic cycle, we're talking about moving into the galactic new year soon. I really feel like those of us who have been working deeply on really holding more of our light this year, which has been this process of releasing and letting go, purging and going through these cycles of, bringing all up to the surface and then, letting it go and then bringing in more of our light. I feel like that has sort of been the pattern for this year. And what I'm feeling now with those of us who have been actively working on clearing out the shadow, clearing out the wounding, clearing out the templates and the ancestral clearings. I feel like this has just been like the year of clearings. It's coming to a point now where we're rising like the solar sun. It's like the light that we have been holding within ourselves, that we have been cultivating, is now breaking open. And it's like thinking about like a geode, and how you look at the geode and it looks like a rock, and then you crack it open and it's full of these crystalline diamond jewels, and it's the most radiant, beautiful thing. And on the surface level, you look at a rock and you look at a geode and it doesn't look like much. And that is kind of the process that I feel like we've been going through this year, like the metamorphosis, where, we kind of do all this work and we're like, we still look like a rock, right? And we're like, what is this even for? Like, are we even like getting anywhere? And I feel like we're stepping into this window now where we're actually cracking open and we're seeing all of this beauty that is just radiating from our hearts, which is the result of all of the work that we've been doing. And so it's actually like God, Source, is cracking us open now and showing us the fruits of our labor. Everything that we've been, cultivating and crystallizing within our hearts is beginning to open. And so anything that's not aligned is going to shed and release and fall away. And inside of us is this purity, this divine light, and this frequency that is so radiant. And I can feel it within our hearts and within our being. All that we've been working towards is now coming to like this beautiful opening. And now it's just like the sun rays are shining through our hearts, and we are becoming like the radiant sun. And that beauty of God that we've been holding and fostering, it's going to shed all of those layers of self that aren't aligned and create new pathways in our lives to be able to live a soul-led life. That is if you have been actively doing the work, because we know that this journey does require a lot of devotion and dedication. And so if this resonates with you, if you feel that cracking open, and it can feel a little vulnerable, you can feel like things are kind of falling apart in some ways, because it's asking you to surrender and trust the process that is opening you up. And when you surrender into it, you realize that you're actually transforming. And it's a beautiful thing when you can recognize your own divinity, your own light, and your own soul essence that's wanting to lead you and guide you along this journey. And I feel this is preparing us to step into what's to come, leading up into 2024, where more of us are remembering our mission and truly stepping into that to a greater degree. Because there is different levels of our purpose and mission work, and we're always, working our mission, working our light on some form of scale, sliding scale to that degree. But it's like there's a honing in. There's this process of, really specializing in what we're here to do in a more grounded way, and in a more aligned way that's really at the core seed of like our heart and soul essence, like really what we came here to do. Because sometimes we do things that are similar, related, or in the realm of, but then what I feel is shifting is we're needing to specialize into more of our level of like expertise as a soul and like what we're here to share with the world. And that's exciting because I feel like that's really where we get to the fun part and the fun stuff, is when we actually get to dive in to our like pure like soul expression of who we are. And when we're in alignment with that, it is like the radiant sun that's just, being shine through every aspect of our being. And it creates this complete joy, living that heart joy in our life.
It's encouraging each one of you to, breathe through this transmission as well as we're sharing some of these pieces with you. This 13th alchemical stage is kind of like that uploading window as this gateway is open. So as my beloved was saying, like all of the work that you've been doing and working on, those like blueprints and templates are being like uploaded now, and they're getting ready to be initiated now through the next solar alchemical cycle as it begins. And what this means is, so all of the work that's occurred is now being manifested through like the collective consciousness and the solar like alchemical cycle for the upcoming year. So it is like this alignment window too. It's considered, with that alchemical geometry or sign of Azoth. And Azoth is about like the purification, the transmutation, and that like the synthesis and the alchemization, like the bringing, the resurrecting, the restoring into like eternal life and eternal love. So with that, I wanted to share a little bit about we've received like this is really the time for our crystal communities and our solar community to be coming together, and we have opened up our Krystal Academy now for you for only $88.67, and we're providing basically the last 3 years that we've spent building this up to further just bring this out for our community and to share more support with each one of you, as we want all of you living your soul calling and mission at this time on the planet. It's so needed. And as we go through shifting from, to this galactic year into the next one, or, another calendar from 2023 into 2024, this means that a lot of the systems here, it's time to actually start bringing them together, building them, and getting the next phase rollout for the planet. So how can we do that? Like, what is your mission? What is your calling? What is the reason why you're here on the planet at this time? Now, if you don't have full clarity on that, it means you're still going through a level of healing, and you're detoxifying and deprogramming from all of the service to self systems that have been on the planet that you've kind of, been raised in and grown up in. So each individual goes through this activation and beginning clearing of these patterns that are serving of self instead of the soul, or instead of, our God consciousness. So within our community and Krystal Academy, we're really providing everything from the foundational level up to the advanced levels to support our communities in rising together. And it's really beautiful that we will also be launching in this window that we're in right now. We received, this is the perfect time to begin the bio-regenesis training and purification chamber to support each one of you that are coming in and starting to move through the deeper layers of, just the unseen stuff that's operating within the subconscious field, that is keeping you in those like lower patterns of looping and any misery programming. Yeah, and to provide that like purification window, because we're in the perfection stage right now. So the alchemical alignment for this is really, really high. And for all of our other family that will end up moving through the bio-regenesis chamber as well, it's going to be synthesized into this like place and no time that bridges through this window to allow as my beloved was talking about, that solar light, that radiance that's within you, for that to really start to shine and come online, because we're aware that each one of you are at different stages on your journey, and there's no judgment for that. Wherever you are is perfect and got you to where you are right now. So this is to support you in being able to come forward as a self-led like healer at this time, and to really like start that manifestation cycle to attract in that which you're looking to attract into your life, instead of all of those like subconscious programs that are running in the background right now that are sending out all of these broadcasts to the universe. And it's like you're trying to really like, manifest your highest life. You're really working to bring in, something that's meaningful and powerful for you, whether it's relationships, whether it's, you know, um, what you're doing for a living, and you're not actually being able to receive that because these trauma patterns or that conditioning from the service to self systems and institutionalization on the planet is also like sending another broadcast out through that subconscious programming. So this is bio-regenesis, supports each one of you with purifying the bodies, the mental, the emotional, the physical, and spiritual, like it's aligned to the four body system, while as well helping you recall and start to bring back those parts of yourself that you've turned away from at some point in your life. Whether that was through trauma or wounding or past lives, yeah, just those parts that may have been forgotten, or we haven't been in a place where we've been able to fully look at it for some time, to bring more like clarity and coherence and wholeness into your being.
I wanted to speak a little bit about the architecture that's supporting you when you come into the KA or Krystal Academy, because it's not just like taking a course.
Yeah.
If any of you have worked with us, you know that once you step into our community container and our architecture, it's it's a purification and healing for you on a deep soul level. So it's not that we're here to, give you loads of information to overwhelm you that you need to study and do all this stuff. That's not the education that we're providing. We have created an architecture that supports your soul with being able to go through the level of healing that it requires to really be embodied and rooted and grounded here, which then supports you with anchoring your mission, with coming into alignment with who you truly are, with going through the process of healing that is needed to really help you do what you came here to do at this time of ascension. And so it's a really beautiful gift to be able to support souls in going through the process of healing that is required. And so I just wanted to express that, because we all think of education as the systems that are in place right now, how we go into the education and then they teach you all these things. And then you're like forced to go out into the world and you're like, what am I supposed to do with all this? Our community is not like that at all. It's very much about this heart-based connection and reintegration and reconnection with who you are. And through that space that we hold is much like a womb space, where you step into this community and you're just so deeply held in the love field that you're safe to be able to go through the healing that is needed and required for you to develop that clarity and remembrance of who you are. And it's this unfolding process. And so this purification chamber, the bio-regenesis that we're speaking of, is a big fancy word, but it's really to just help you detox from all of the different ways and the systems and the conditioning that have limited you in being able to connect on a deeper level with your source, with your inner soul light. And so it's such a beautiful thing when you recognize like what we have been able to create for our family. And this is in service to support all of you. And we can all receive healing and support, no matter where you are on your journey. If you've been doing this 10 years, 5 years, you just started, it helps you. It's an intelligence. So it's through working with your higher self, the source frequency, the omni-love field that is held through Hierogamic, through sacred union, through myself and my beloved. it's a really sacred thing. And so those of you who feel called to our work and to be a part of this, like, you're our family.
Yeah.
And, you know, there was a level of understanding that, you know, Richard and Rosalie will be bringing something forward to support, you know, a large group of star-seeded individuals with stepping into their soul callings. So if you found us, it's because your soul has brought you here, because what we've been able to create is beautiful. But it's really to empower you and to support you with what you're here to do as well. And so think of it like a stop along the way to your journey here on earth. And it's like, you know, you come in and you receive what you need, and then you carry on and do your life's work, or you stay a while, or you hang out with us and just have
We all
the
grow
most
together.
amazing experience with your soul family. So I just wanted to express that, because that definition of education is being redefined by us, through us.
Yeah, and I think there's a few things I just want to break down the understanding of to help bridge it. But one is like the service to self systems. They don't talk about the soul. They don't talk about the evolution of the soul and the levels of initiation the soul is supposed to be going through ever since you're incarnated into this planet. So the Krystal Academy is to support the soul evolution of consciousness and to help you like embody that into your humanness and being, and to be, you know, here on the planet, fully able to live your mission and bringing forward all of the beautiful systems and technologies and you know, just new earth pieces of the puzzle that are going to be coming out over the next few years. Now, why did we call it the Krystal Academy? You know, this came directly through, you know, our Hierogamos and our highest selves. That so crystal. What is crystal? Crystal is short for Krystala. What is Krystala? Krystala are the 7 tones of creation. Okay, that hold and amplify the entire like organic color spectrum of light, plasma, and harmonics. And with that, they're also the 7 galactic suns that come together and unify through the 8th sun, known as Ah, which is the unifier through the heart. So crystal, Krystala, and then if you were to break it down as Christ also representing that too, spelled with a K, spelled with the meaning of the Christ Krystala blueprints, the original organic eternal love and eternal source, blueprints, templates, and instruction sets that support our biology, I almost made up a word there. I wanted to say lightology, but it's like our crystallization of our light bodies and our Merkaba mechanics that support our eternal solar essence and radiance that we are. So they're holding these. It's a vehicle and an architecture that holds and houses these. Now, another representation of this, the Krystal Academy, is Ka. Ka is spirit. It is the spirit that is the exact representation of what it is in the God realms. So if you were to say what Ka is that God solar essence of light that is manifested into human form. So this is a living, breathing system and architecture that supports the evolution of Ka, the evolution of Ka, the evolution of the spirit, the evolution of the soul. And I think this is really important for each one of us, just to, you know, have a little bit more clarity on this. You know, we are going through this process of, like, our bodies are going through a lot at this time of ascension because we are holding a higher template and codex. And each time the sun transitions into a new phase, we start to go through all of these different physiological changes because we're shifting from that carbon-based being into a diamond crystalline plasma-based consciousness, which is actually what is in our original like DNA and code, like in our original source creator code. And this is really the foundation. It is this hierogamic, living, breathing source architecture that supports each one of us going through these natural evolutionary phases. Now with this, well, this is the stuff that we should always be teaching and involved in because it's just part of our soul journey. So yeah, and this is directly part of our mission at this time on the planet, is to, help each one of you with having a place where this can occur and having that safety, that security, and to deprogram from the false ascension matrix, right? Which is what we've all grown up in. I'm going to just quickly explain, like, what is the false ascension matrix? It's, kind of sounds like a scary word, right? And the easiest way to explain this is when you look at the earth and you look at whether it's education, healthcare, government, financial, agriculture, these systems have been very parasitic on the earth. And they take more than what they give, right? And they do a lot of damage, and they are all more on a corporate side or consumerism side or service to self side. So when we've grown up in these systems, each one of us has to kind of unlearn them. And we have to unlearn all of the points of the trauma that has been emotionally imprinted within our being from just, growing up in these systems that aren't actually natural to the soul. They're held in more of the lower mind and the lower instinctual like energies disconnected from the heart. And those systems are actually meant to keep each one of you or our family from opening their heart and embodying their soul consciousness. I think that's an important thing for us to share, is we're shifting. And this is such an important time to be here on the planet right now. And there's so much big news that's going to be coming out this year, but we'll save that for another time.
Yeah, so we're just so grateful that we have this community. I know that it is that connection that we all so deeply need and crave on a soul level, that loneliness of being in a world and surrounded by people yet feeling so alone is the saddest thing, I think. And knowing that we came here to Earth on this mission with like-hearted, like-minded souls, those of our family who are part of our soul clusters. We hand selected and chose these individuals to be a part of our journeys here. And so we travel together. And so if you are here watching this, listening to this, then there is a very high chance that you're part of our soul clusters and you're part of our family. And there is sacred messages that are coming through for you, through us, through our hearts. And it's to support you in remembering who you are and knowing that we are all here to help each other. and that we all hold a piece of this puzzle. And the only way that we're ever going to be able to do anything on this planet is if we actually begin to come together and to trust one another and to develop that relationship with each other through our communities, through that remembrance of family. Because that level of separation that keeps us all apart, thinking that we need to do it ourselves, and that, everyone's got to be doing their own thing and fiercely independent, and I don't need anyone else, and I can, get all my information from within, which is true, but we came here to build together. And the only way that we're actually going to be able to build is if our family is able to come together and co-create in the energies to be able to seed and plant these higher frequencies and those codes into the earth. And so part of my role and Richard's role and many others is to build these communities. And so wherever community you feel guided to go, doesn't need to be ours, but it's so important for us to have, for everyone to have a community that they feel a part of, that they feel safe, that their hearts feel safe to open, because this is how we organically heal and grow. And we've been separated for so long, beloveds, and we've been doing this alone for so long. And it really is time for us to be able to find each other. And so my beloved and I are, here today to call out to those of you who are part of our family that recognize our heart tones, that recognize what we're speaking and the sounds that we are sharing with you through our hearts, that this is who we are and this is what we're ready for, and that we're here for you. And that if you're ready, we have this beautiful community that is just growing and blossoming. It's this magnificent garden that we've been cultivating and seeding all of these beautiful support systems and courses and meditations. And there's so many beautiful family members that are a part of our community that it just wouldn't be the same without all of you. Yeah. And so we're growing.
We're also providing over somewhere around 350 to 400 classes that we personally built on all different types of topics and skills and information and, meditations, activations, clearings, to really allow you to start at whichever level you're ready to begin at. And whether it's like you're looking for more mental and emotional mastery and being in a supportive community for that, or you're, here right now as a planetary grid worker, whatever stage you're at, there is a place for you. Yeah,
and let's heal our definition of family, because on a human level, we all know how complicated family is. Yeah. We've all been in situations where we've been in families that haven't accepted us, or there's been division or conflict or warring or drama and trauma. And so let us heal the definition of family by remembering that beyond this incarnation, that we are truly family. And although we can conceptualize and understand that we're all one, that we all love each other, it can be so complicated in this scenario to develop that and cultivate that. How do we bring heaven on earth? How do we create these new earth communities? How do we come together in love and unity consciousness and not just talk about it? Because we spend so much time understanding that concept and knowing that and thinking it's in the future. And yeah, we're going to have all of these beautiful new earth communities and we're all going to, sing together. But what is the grounded way that that's actually going to happen? We actually need to heal the wounds of separation that are within us that make us not want to be a part of anything that kind of like, that sounds scary, right? It's like those traumas are still there because they're part of your um, journey here on earth where we all experience separation. So how do we bring it back together? And how do we feel safe to support one another through this? And so knowing that our hearts are really in this to create a space that is safe for all of us, that feels loving, that feels supportive, that feels comforting to the human that wants to feel safe and wants to feel accepted, wants to feel loved, but it's not so sure that's even a real thing yet, right? It's like we want to believe that we can be a family in that way, but there's like this wound of like trust and this wound of rejection and fear that we won't be accepted. So I just wanted to voice that because Richard and myself, I feel like we're not that scary. It's like we're human too, and sometimes we're doing some pretty crazy high galactic work with our other brothers and sisters, and but yeah, on like a grounded level, like we're just like everyone else here that's learning how to be grounded and to find our way and be soul embodied. And so I really feel like our community really reflects that, to be that bridge between enjoying our life as a human and what that brings, but also really connecting the higher dimensional frequencies so that we can really anchor and seed what we came here to do.
I want you all to take a moment and just like let us know how you're doing in the chat. All right. I see you. I see you there. Say hi. Just comment on the chat. If there's anything you would like us to dive into or explain, feel free to add that in there.
Can't hide anymore, beloveds. We got to be seen. And, that was a big one for me, overcoming being seen. I think that fear of not being accepted or not being enough was enough to like make me want to hide in my ascension cave. But guess what? If we all hid in our ascension caves, nothing would get done. I mean, we're really here to find each other and to come together. And we all want the same thing. It's all part of our blueprint. We want to come together and hold that love field. And so allow yourself to be seen, really allow yourself to step out of your comfort zone so that we can come together and have fun. I'm sure so many of you miss fun when you're just deep in the shadow work or deep in the working on the grids or all of the things that we need to do here that needs to get done. But we can also find the joy in that. We can also find the excitement of being together.
Hey, Earth Angel and Trinity Blaze. Good to see you. Hey, Cassandra. Amazing to see you. I think I just want to share a few things of like what about like, well, first, thank you, beloved, for, sharing that and expressing that, because I think that's something that we all can relate to. We want to do our missions, but some of us don't know how or how to get through some of these obstacles, like you just mentioned.
Or even like the social anxiety, like part of like needing to like step out and like, I think that a lot of people, are observing what's going on and seeing, people talk about these things and relating and resonating, but then just continuing on in their day-to-day lives, feeling alone and feeling isolated and separate.
Mm.
And so I just feel for you because I know it's scary to really step out of your comfort zone with these things. But for me, like the best way for me to step out of my comfort zone is just to do it and know that my mission is so much bigger than that, than those fears. Each one of your missions are so much bigger, and that niggling feeling will never go away. It's like once you're awakened and you're on this path, if you're not living your soul mission or in alignment with what you're here to do, it will like continually poke at you. Like your higher self will be like, come on.
Just a huge influx of plasma just came in. There a yawn there because all of a sudden when there's a big increase in energy that just came through the field.
Yeah.
I wanted to share with you too, like what is in the Krystal Academy. So, I mean, first of all, we're about always giving out more than what we get back, and this is the same model and just like foundation we have put forward with the Krystal Academy. So, my beloved and I, we have both sworn, an oath to do no harm. That is one of the things that we hold so dearly to our heart. And so you're in the Krystal Academy, you're going to get access to the Heart Soul Blueprint, 77 classes, which is for mental emotional mastery. Our Starseed School, which has Starseed's foundations, Merkaba training, DNA activations, clearings, removals, aligning to the natural God sovereign laws, and so much more, connecting with our galactic families. And that has 100 classes. Then you're also going to get our the Temple of Hierogamos. This is where we hold our live weekly calls. So every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we come together with our community and we do a little ascension class. And then
you guys get to hang out with us like this every Wednesday. It's the best thing ever, you guys. Like I live for that Wednesday night call because we really just show up for you and for our community, and it's always magical what comes through.
Yeah, and it'll always be some form of whether it's guardian communication, activation, or just collective like update or whatever support or current alchemical theme we're working on at that present time. And here's a news flash for you. We're launching our crystal brotherhoods and sisterhoods, also known as the solar brotherhoods and sisterhoods within our community as well. So sisters, you're going to have your own space. And I think that is so divine as well to be able to come together in that way. And the brothers, our own solar brotherhood as well, for us to come together and connect and bridge as well. So
been feeling this like deep like call within like the divine feminine, at least like what I've been receiving is like we miss each other. Like we miss our like circles and our sacred like ceremonies and just being able to come together and share in that beautiful, soft, feminine space that we don't always get, right? It's like we're, either around like a lot of different energies or we don't always feel safe to be like open and vulnerable. And so I'm actually really excited about this. If you're in our Krystal community, I will be holding a sisterhood call that enables us to come together and be in that like soft, like feminine space that's like we like feel like that like beautiful divine energy of like mother holding us. And then Richard's going to have like his beautiful brotherhood space. Yeah. And that's all included in the membership.
I just want to talk about the solar brotherhood, or what we'll be calling the Krystal Brotherhood. Wow. As I'm just like, I have goosebumps over my entire body right now, because brothers, we have been apart for far too long. And our brotherhoods have fallen in so many different ways and been like around war and fighting. And my heart is just exploding, and I'm feeling so much emotion right now because our brotherhoods have truly been lost. And this is the time for us to come together and to plant a new seed for the solar masculine that is here, for the true masculine that is rising and bringing forward the architecture and the energy for the coming shifts, but to do it in a way that is so supportive of our divine feminine, hand in hand, together as one. And our solar brothers, this is the time now for us to come together. All of these everything we're talking about is in our Krystal Academy. And like I said, our bio-regenesis chamber that we're launching on April 19th, it's first come, first serve. So we already have, a certain amount of people in our membership. And then there will be a certain point where we'll say that, okay, that's a good number. That's what's guided to go ahead with. And you can get access to that as well. And this usually would have been thousands of dollars. Well, for the 86, 88, 67, you'll have access to that too. Yeah. And I mean, for my beloved and I, just like our hearts feel so good, and it feels so just in full alignment with our missions to be able to provide this for our family, because we don't want separation within our community about we can afford to do this and we can't afford to do that. Yeah. We want to provide everyone that is in it, like with all of these opportunities for what is in resonance for you.
Yeah, we're really looking to grow this community space. And by having everything available to whoever is devoted and wants to be a part of our community, then you'll have all of these beautiful perks and like supports, and it'll just be included. It just makes it so much easier for us all to be together. And that's ultimately what me and my beloved want, is we just want to be together and be able to heal and grow together and have some amazing soul family chats and connection. And we're putting together this beautiful additional app that will be integrated to support us in being able to share and get to know each other in a way that's really supportive. So it is really exciting what's been coming forward and what we've been receiving, and all of the downloads that have been coming in about what it is that we're actually creating here. And this feels like a new beginning.
Yeah.
Because we've just launched, the Krystal Academy, which it used to be Starseed School. If you have been following us, we started Starseed School 2 years ago, and that is what has built.
It was 3, I think.
Oh yeah, 3 years ago. Yeah. Time flies. And that was the foundations of what we're now building. So everything has grown, and so now we're like a whole academy now because we've so much library and so much access to all of these beautiful calls that we've done, which is really like a roadmap. Because as we've been going through our own initiations and healing, we've grown. And so our courses have grown, our offerings have grown. And so if you follow our journey, you can just see how amazing it is to experience the foundational aspects, what is a 12D shield, how we build that architecture, down to all of the other things that we've offered. That is really, there's something for everybody in there.
Yeah. Yeah. And this Krystal Academy is just going to continue to grow and expand. It's part of the Guardian architecture that is supporting the New Earth systems and coming into place as well. So the foundations for it are huge, and like I said in earlier, it basically holds like the original source creator code that is being restored on the planet at this time, as well as supporting many of the planetary grid working projects and a lot of the new Rainbow Ascension grid systems that are coming online. Just reading through the comments. Cassie, yes. We miss you too. It is a massive offering thank you for that. Yeah, we feel that too, Cassie. Thank you. Hi, Helen. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, family. So this is the call. We look forward to seeing you in the Krystal Academy. We're in this galactic window coming up on the precipice of the new year. I said that in the beginning of the video. This is the door. Doorway is open. This is the perfection, the purification, and the alchemized synthesis stage. All right. So whatever it is you've done over the last 12 cycles are now synthesizing, being like uploaded and starting to manifest now through the collective or through your own individual level of like consciousness and process. So if you haven't like fully been aligned to like the solar alchemical synthesis process, this is another thing by coming into the Krystal community and academy that helps us naturally organically align these eternal life and eternal love source systems that are part of just our organic like solar consciousness and architecture.
Wanted to share, I pulled a card for everyone, and the card is fall into my arms, surrender. And I feel like, yeah, it's all the soul family gathering around. There's mother holding all of us in this water, and there's our ancestors. So it's really that divine support of allowing yourself to be held. Again, remembering that you don't have to do it all alone, that you don't have to have it all figured out, that you don't need to continue on this journey exhausted and overwhelmed. There's this beautiful sanctuary and space that's available to you and allows for you to receive.
It's also like we talk about the bio-regenesis chamber, right? And this is literally like what it looks like in a way, just in terms of like you have like the crystal river, the plasmas, the harmonics, that true like creator source essence of life that is surrounding you and reflecting back to you that which is inside of you, and you can see like all of it's almost like, yeah, I don't know if you saw this up here, but it's like you got the support of the cosmos, you got the support of the universe, your ancestors, our star nations, like all of our family is here supporting you. Down here, it's like, it's that feeling like just being completely held in that womb space, Yeah. Yeah, and I love what you said as well. And it's about this deeper connection to spirit, to Ka, that's within you. Beautiful card.
The other card that I drew, which at first I was like, what is this referring to? But now I remember what's been coming through. It's I'm sorry, defenselessness, writing past wrongs, uprooting. And there's a deep piece that's surfacing through the collective right now around forgiveness. And there has been so much pain that has happened to our family, to each one of us, to our earth. Think of all the ways that we've hurt each other, all the ways that we've hurt the earth. And there's a lot of deep feelings of anger, resentment, betrayal, abuse, all of these traumas that are, held. within the collective subconscious, and also within our lower chakras. And so if you haven't been able to forgive yourself, forgive our family, forgive those who have hurt us, if you're still in that process, it can be really challenging to feel unity, right? It can be really hard to come together and just be like, yeah, we're all love, when there's all of this like deep ancestral like anger and resentment and betrayal, right? Because as much as we want to be love and unity consciousness, we can't just ignore the pain that's there and pretend that we're okay and everything's, sunshine and rainbows. So this card that is coming forward is, are you ready to forgive? Are you ready to let go? And can you find it, within you to heal from this, heal from the pain of separation, heal from what's happened on the planet, heal from, what has happened to the divine feminine, what's happened to mother, what's happened to the divine masculine, and what's happened to father, what's happened to our family, to our children, to everything that is sacred to us. If we're still holding on to this deep like resentment, it's just going to continue to fester within you and cause that remanifestation of that pain until we've actually acknowledged it. And until we're ready to release that and let that go. We don't need to continually hold on to it. We can remember, but we don't need to hold on to it anymore. And I feel like this is a big message for a lot of us, because we all want to be happy, but we need to be able to forgive and move on to create the new world that we're here to create.
Yeah, I wanted to add to that as well, because it's like that resentment that you're speaking about. So when we forgiving isn't always about the other person.
Yeah.
Right? Forgiving is so you don't have to hold on to that grudge. It's because if there's a place where you haven't been able to offer forgiveness, part of your consciousness is in separation. Right? And what's keeping it in separation or fragmented or not allowing you to move forward is that energy of grudge, resentment that you're holding on to. So for us to all be able to do the healing, to be in a place, to have the support where you are able and ready to forgive, so you can move forward. So it's a beautiful message. And I was looking at, it's actually a really interesting card. Because if you look at the two people and then look at their roots, what are they rooted in? What are they rooted in? Right? Are you rooted in pain, anger, fear? Are you rooted in compassion and kindness, and what's allowing you to move forward? And that same, what's the foundation that's holding them up on the earth? What's the foundation? What's your foundation? And to me, that's a beautiful message, where through Ho'oponopono,
I was just thinking that.
Yeah, and through the practices of forgiveness, we're able to model like a new way forward. Great messages.
The last card that I drew was water your garden, nourishment, body care, tenderness, and rest. And there's the garden. There is that supportive, nurturing space for you to heal. And that self-compassion, that self-love.
Just want to do the comparison between the two. Because this was the first one we pulled. Now hold yours up, Rosalie. And there's the second one.
That's you after you enter the community.
So it's like going through that like initiation, right? Going through the initiation with all your family cheering you on. And then it's like you're rising on the other side,
This self-compassion piece is such a big part of this journey. because there's a lot that we're needing to face in this lifetime. There's a lot that we need to face so that we can heal. And part of being able to heal is practicing self compassion, love, and nurturing ourselves through that. Because if we're hard on ourselves and judging ourselves our entire journey, that's not going to feel good or nourishing to any part of your being. Right?
Yeah.
It's like this like hard, tough love act that we're programmed and conditioned to just, get up, it's fine, shake it off. That really does not work when it comes to like soul wounds and deep healing work. We really do need to work on that self compassion, nourishment, body care, tenderness, rest, knowing when we need to take care of ourselves, knowing when we need to take that bath and soak in that salt water and give ourselves the love and tender care that we need. And so that's a big one because I feel like there can also be like patterns of self-sacrifice that happen when we don't take care of ourselves and we just continually push ourselves beyond our limitations. We become physically fatigued, mentally fatigued, emotionally overwhelmed, and spiritually that can create, deep sadness when we're not in alignment with the love that we want to model towards the world also needs to be given back to ourselves. When we fill our own cups, then we have that much more to give.
Yeah, I was also looking at this card, and it's when we look at both of these, like the starting, okay, and then we had the ending. And you can see where this one, it's really about like trust. This one's about trust. Spirit has you, you're supported. Awe is there, right? The Krystal Academy supports you. And it's like taking that step into the crystal waters. And it's like, but once you've opened up to that trust and that started to blossom like within you, like look at everything that's grown in your garden. Look at how much life and how much nourishment there are. And it's now you're actually seeing that representation of what is truly inside you. But
that's where I want to live.
Yeah, but it's being shown everywhere, like around you as well.
And this is how your soul finds a way to come through. That light that shines through you is a result of the home that you've made within yourself for your light.
Your inner sanctuary.
Your inner sanctuary. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And well, thank you so much, beloveds, for taking the time to hang out with us. We're coming up at close to 1:44 on the recording here. Now, I hope that you all have a beautiful day, and we look forward to seeing you inside our community in Krystal Academy. And make sure you take advantage of this offer so you can get into our bio-regenesis 12-week course that's starting on April 19th. Yeah, and tell your friends, share with like-minded soul family. And
yeah, maybe just feel into your hearts and ask your heart, ask your higher self, is Krystal Academy in my highest soul alignment at this time? Is this a supportive container for me? And am I open and ready to receive it?
And am I ready to get the support to step forward into my soul mission?
And just really feel what you receive. Ask your heart, ask your soul, what is in alignment for you? And you'll feel it. Sometimes it'll just be peace. I think that feeling of peace is that frequency of knowing that you are held and knowing that you are safe. And our higher self will often communicate with us through feelings of peace. So when you tune into something and you just feel your body relax and you just feel at ease, that's usually a good sign, 144 on the call, that it is something that is for you.
All right, from our hearts to your hearts, we're sending you so much love. And just whenever this message finds you, we hope it is all integrated with peace, comfort, and grace.
Thank you, everyone. Have a beautiful day.